What's happening, people? What's going on, man? Happy Saturday. You know the vibes. Hope you're all doing well. You know, guys, I can only really be doing streams after I open my fast, because Mina when she's hungry versus Mina when she's had food, two different people. It's literally, the vibe is completely different. But big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. If you are still fasting, I hope the fast is going well for you. 20, what are we on now? Day 27. Going into 28. Time is just running. Time is just really running. Ramadan is coming to an end in the next couple of days. Then it will be Eid. I'll try my best to do a stream on Eid, but I think Eid actually clashes this year with Champions League. So if Eid is on Tuesday, is, you know, Champions League. If Eid is on Wednesday, it's Champions League. So I'll try find time to do a stream at some point during the day. But big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Before we get into it, obviously, Manchester United versus Liverpool tomorrow. I need all my friends that support Arsenal that to stop saying, Mina, please get something against Liverpool. Firstly, I don't play for the United, number one. Number two, it seems like the rival teams that are in a title race are putting a lot more hopes in Man United than Man United fans are themselves. It seems like a lot of United fans are really past the idea of getting 3 points against Liverpool, whereas Arsenal, City fans all think United can maybe get something. The only reason why I want to win, firstly, is because it's Liverpool. I never want to lose to Liverpool, number one. Number two, but Liverpool themselves are in this title race, and if we can just hinder them a little bit, that would be perfect. But obviously, from United's perspective, United need nothing less than 3 points. And just like that, clockwork, man, Zayn Miasi with the super chat saying, make sure you beat Liverpool for us. Arsenal fans are like this. You know what, guys? I'm going to be so honest. I'm going to be so real. I think Arsenal are winning the league. I said this months ago. I said that it would be preferred for me for Arsenal to win, but like, I don't want to say, oh, I want them to win. But I think just from the performances and the games that I've watched, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, I feel like Arsenal are different this year. I don't know. There's something different about Arsenal this year, and I feel like, you know, players like Gabriel don't get enough respect. Like Saliba gets a lot of the attention, but I do think it's Gabriel that is a big part of that backline, and I think Arteta's got it right. I think he's got the ingredients right this year. From just like as a football fan, guys, I think he's got it right. In terms of what they were missing, obviously Declan Rice came in big part, but even just the way that they can get something from games where it feels like they're doing nothing, that is what is the difference between Arsenal this year and last year. Last year there was games that they threw away from their own wrongdoings, or their inability to score, or their inability to hold on possession. But this year they are different, and I think this is a very hot take, but I think Arsenal are going to win the league on goal difference. I think the title is going to the final day of the season, 19th of May, and I think it's going to be between City and Arsenal at that point, and I think Arsenal are going to win it on goal difference. Simple as that. But I don't want to talk too much about, you know, teams being in a title race, because it makes me feel a bit sad. I can't lie. It makes me feel a bit sad, the fact that United are not in no title race. But you don't know what it is. As you can see, man, I know I'm looking a bit HD on everyone's screen. I know I'm looking a bit HD because, like I said, I've upgraded the setup to HD content. Now you lot can stop getting onto me. But big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. How is everyone feeling after the Chelsea game? I didn't do a stream yesterday. I was still annoyed. I was still really annoyed about that game. I'm not going to lie. And everywhere I went online is just, I was seeing Cole Palmer, and I was seeing the video of Mason Mount and Enzo Fernandez squaring up to each other. And I saw Chelsea fans arguing amongst themselves as to whether they should have booed Mason Mount or not. Everywhere I went on Friday, that was a topic of conversation. And then the Athletic released the article, Laurie Whitwell, about the future of Manchester United and Erik ten Hag under Ineos. And it's reported that Ineos are maybe leaning towards keeping Erik ten Hag. Now, I say this all the time. I just want to see the season out. I don't see the point on sacking a manager right now. And I said this back in Feb. I said it back in Jan. I don't see the point on sacking a manager at that point or at this point. And just let the season come to an end. See where United end up at the end of the season and then make a decision from there. But, you know, Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe have their job cut out in terms of what's going to happen in the summer, because I also think a big part of the summer is obviously the summer transfer window. And if the manager if it's kind of uncertain about who the manager is, I think that could actually hinder as well whether players are going to come in or not. Zamiasi with the super chat says, what happens if you get Southgate? We're not getting Southgate, so I don't need to worry about that. I don't need, guys, let me just reassure you, United will not get Gareth Southgate. I don't think so. And the reason why I say that is because I think if United are going to get a new manager outside of Ten Hag, I mean, it's a step back to go from Ten Hag to Southgate, in my opinion. And I think it's better to go for a manager who has more so club experience rather than international experience. I think Southgate's only managed at one club before England. So it's not really Man United level. I would rather even United look at people like Michael Carrick and McKenna, because they are actually doing well with the resources that they have. Ipswich, top of the league, came up from League One to Championship. He's doing well with them. And there's a clear playing and coaching style in the way that they play. And as well, same with Carrick. So I don't think United will get Southgate. But let's get to the topic. Before we kind of dwell on the manager too much, let's talk about tomorrow's game. Between Manchester United and Liverpool, because of course Liverpool are in a title race right now. If they win tomorrow, they go top of the table and they'll be clear by 2 points of Arsenal. However, if United can get a draw, if Liverpool get a draw against United, they remain second. And if obviously they lose, then they remain second as well. So Liverpool have a lot to play for tomorrow. But you know what, guys? I'm not being dramatic or anything, but I genuinely think equally United have a lot to play for. And you lot might think, what the hell are you speaking? What are you talking about? United are 6. There's nothing to play for. Our season's done. That is true. But there is no way that United can go on and on throughout the remaining how many games are left? 7, 8 games of the season. United cannot continue to just progress through with bad results and bad performances, especially not against a rival. I'm not saying United are in a title kind of thing, in a title race, or United are kind of, fighting for something, but we're fighting for pride and we're fighting for dignity. Is that not something? I mean, we ain't got much dignity left after this season, and the losses that we've had. Now, my only worry is that backline. My biggest worry is that backline. I'm not worried about scoring goals per se, because I was looking at some stats before I went live, and these are our top goal scorers for the season. Our top goal scorer in all competitions, by the way, Højlund, number 1 with 13 goals. Now, this is a very low tally of goals, can I just say? But Højlund with 13 goals, and then 3 players have 9 goals. That is Garnacho, Fernandes, and obviously McTominay, followed by Marcus Rashford with 8, Casemiro 5, and then the next is Diallo with 2, Anthony with 2. That is actually very, very low in terms of goal scoring numbers. But firstly, big up to Garnacho in it, because he's getting on the score sheet. He's played 40 games this season. Him and Bruno, actually, out of the top 5 goal scorers, have played the most number of games. They've both played 40, which is pretty much every single game, I would say, so far this season, bar maybe one. And Garnacho has started a lot of those games as well. I think he's on his 25th start in a row so far this season. If he starts on tomorrow, it'll be 26. Now, my biggest worry is not where the goals are going to come from, because one thing with United, guys, can I just say, this season, the goals, we've realized it will come from somewhere. It will come from anywhere. It will come from somewhere. But my biggest concern is the back line. The defense is the biggest worry. Now, Diogo Dalot had I would say a rough outing against Chelsea. The week before that, I would say Wan-Bissaka had a rough outing against Brentford. Varane probably not going to play. Johnny Evans not fit either. So that leaves us with Maguire and Camberwala. That means if any of them two get injured, there is no other defender for United to bring in, which means a Casemiro will go in the back line, maybe even like I could see Wan-Bissaka playing. Wallahi, I could see Wan-Bissaka playing as a centre back, and Amrabat going left back or something like that. I can really see that happening, and it's very unfortunate because, you know, you already know if the result doesn't go the way that we want it to tomorrow, the manager, the first thing he's going to talk about is the injuries. Very obvious. The first thing he'll talk about is the injuries. But my biggest worry is what happens with that backline. How does Casemiro have 5? Yeah, he scored a winner. I think it was against Forest in the FA Cup. I remember. There you go. Ridwan said it in the chat. He scored 2 against Bayern, 2 against Forest, 1 against Palace. That's the thing. Like this season, I've realized the goals will come from somewhere. Like the goals will come from somewhere. It will come from McTominay. It will come from Casemiro. It will come from Bruno. Like Bruno is the number that shocks me the most because I don't remember Bruno scoring 9 goals this season. I'm looking at when I looked at it, I said Bruno got 9 goals. Why did I think he had way less than that? But this is actually a concern. I said that I'm a hypocrite because I just said that it's not worrying about where the goals will come from. It is a bit worrying because only one player is on double digits, and that's Rasmus Højlund. That's a player that failed to hit the goal or score until December in the Premier League. Obviously, he hit the ground running in Champions League. He had a few. I think he had 2 goals in quite a few games. I just cannot, for the life of me, imagine United will allow Liverpool to come to Old Trafford and bad them up. That's it. And Liverpool themselves have injury issues. Like they have their injury problems. That's a given. But is it crazy to me, guys, that because of that FA Cup game, I have a little bit of faith that United can turn up when necessary? Now, the only thing is that FA Cup games, or cup games just in general for Man United, and just how Erik ten Hag might approach cup games is quite different to how he would approach maybe Premier League games or something, because cup games is a do or die. You have to win or you're out. And when, in particular, that quarterfinal FA Cup game against Liverpool, I feel like Erik ten Hag had to basically just abandon everything and just go for the win, go for the win, because that game, United, had they lost, Erik ten Hag's season would have been completely over, because United are not getting top 4. United are not getting top 4 unless there's some big issues in that it's between Spurs and Aston Villa. But I feel like with the FA Cup game, Erik ten Hag, that's the one time we saw him abandon everything and just put out a bunch of attacking players and just go for the goal, go for the win. But in a game like we've seen at Anfield earlier this season, Ten Hag is happy to play the low block and defend and frustrate the opponent and force them to take shots and hit them on the counter when they've got, Van Dijk as the last player back. We know Ten Hag is capable of playing against Liverpool in 2 different ways. And the question is, how is he going to approach that game tomorrow? Is he going to approach it at Old Trafford with the crowd behind him and just sit back? Is he going to do that and sit back and have a low block and literally keep your shape? The difference is that between that Anfield game, we had Varane and Johnny Evans, 2 of our most experienced players. Johnny Evans, who I think has been one of our better defenders this season after Varane, and Maguire equally so. But I feel like Maguire has that moment of lapse in him where he can make an error, whether it's a mistimed challenge or it's getting caught out for pace and all of that kind of stuff. So I think, in that Anfield game, it was comfortable to sit back and defend with a low block because you had the players who were capable of doing that. You had Raphael Varane, who's one of, I would say, our better defenders at, defending the box. Whereas when we played them in the FA Cup, we were happy to play, front line, front-footed football, get the fullbacks involved, get forward, congest the midfield, force, McAllister out of the game or Szoboszlai or etc. So it'll be interesting to see how. Let me know how you lot think Ten Hag will approach the game. Do you see us going with a low block and kind of just defending and forcing the opponent to kind of just take shots? Because Liverpool did that at Anfield. They just took shots from everywhere. Most of them getting blocked, some of them getting saved by Onana, etc., etc. It'll be interesting to see. But I think United have to just it's Old Trafford against Liverpool. You got the crowd behind you, bro. Just go toe to toe. But the thing is, again, one of my other worries is that you have a team that just came off of 100 minutes on Thursday. We look tired anyways. We look tired regardless. When United play every week, they look tired. So when they're coming off of 100 minutes 3 days ago, I can't imagine how United are going to look. Mina, what do you think of Onana's performances so far? That's a good question. It's a bit up and down. It's a bit up and down, I think, with Andre Onana, because I feel like in the Chelsea game, that first goal, I think he should have saved it. Sometimes I feel like he's because I saw a video online. I can't remember who posted it. Someone in the crowd posted a video on TikTok of Onana's pre-game warm-up, and a majority of his warm-up is him practicing passing and throwing. That's it. He's practicing passing and throwing, and then a bit of it he's practicing shots, being like he's saving shots. So I don't with Onana, I'm very up and down. Like, I think it's very unfortunate for him, especially this season, like the way that the beginning of the season was. But I feel like he's redeemed himself over time. And can I just say, like, I do kind of sympathize with him a little bit, just because, you know, when you have a regular change in your back line where, you know, you're playing with different players. And like last year, we praised David De Gea for winning the Golden Glove because we had a consistent back line. We had a consistent centre-back partnership, you know. That consistency allows comfortability for the goalkeeper. So I kind of have to give that sort of I have to give that sort of benefit of the doubt to Onana, because he's not had the luxury of having that. He's, you know, it's been ever changing. I think he's actually played the most out of all of our players this season so far. And, you know, he's playing every game with probably the only consistent player is Diallo. Diallo is the only player in the backline that is the consistent kind of is the consistent player that's part of the formation. So when you have that and you have an ever changing backline, you know, I can imagine it's difficult. And the same goes for, like, if you're playing in the midfield, and say Kobbie Mainoo, for example, who's playing with it, if he's playing with two different midfielders every game, it's like, how you ever going to learn and understand and build a relationship with each other if you're playing with different players all the time? So with Onana, I think it's just it's making do with the best kind of situation that United are in this season. That's how I see it with Onana. Onana has been very solid since his nightmare beginning of the season. Exactly. I feel like since Champions League, he's been better. So maybe getting knocked out of Champions League was the best thing for him. Big up to Dana, says, I'm going to the game tomorrow. Pray for me. Listen, I hope Dana is the good luck charm. I hope Dana is our good luck charm. What would you guys say is the biggest threat for Liverpool tomorrow? I think if United can find a way to neutralize the midfield, then we are kind of in it. But the thing is, with the FA Cup game, Liverpool never kind of got control of the game. They never really did that. But at Anfield, they had control of possession for some time. So it's really a matter of how does United counter that if Liverpool do have control of possession. Because my biggest worry, is not United in possession. I'm worried about United in possession. But the biggest worry for me is United out of possession. That is the biggest worry, because it's like the players are clueless. Honestly, it's like the players are clueless sometimes out of possession. They don't know where to stand. They don't know where to be position-wise. They don't know whether, you know, the back line, some of them don't know whether to step up and play the offside or stay back. Normally it's Wan-Bissaka. So it's out of possession. United are very scary. But can I say one person that has to start, and this might be controversial, Marcus Rashford has to start against Liverpool. He has to start. And the reason why I say that is because, and I don't want to be that person to be off stats, but Marcus Rashford, guaranteed goal against Liverpool. If Rashford plays, it's a guaranteed goal, especially on that side of Liverpool's defense, whether it's Conor Bradley, whether it's, you know, Gomez, whoever it is that's playing as a fullback, Marcus Rashford has to be up against that person. He has to be. He has to be with his speed, with his legs. You know, I think 1v1, he should be playing, and simply as well because of his goal scoring record against the top six. I think he's got like 28, 27 goals or something in all competitions against the top six. And you lot know he likes a goal against Liverpool as well. He likes a goal against Liverpool. So for me, I would go with Garnacho and Rashford on either side, followed by obviously Rasmus Højlund up top. Anthony had a good performance against against Chelsea. I'd like to see him coming on as a pair of fresh legs against maybe a tired defense. And for me, it's just the way that it just depends on whether or not United, you know, have control of the game and really are like going toe to toe with Liverpool, which I can imagine they do it. But the thing is, guys, is with Man United this year, and I was reading an article about it on The Athletic. It's just the unpredictability. Is that even a word? The unpredictability of, what United you're getting, because when United play this season, you don't know what kind of performance you're getting. So as a result, it's kind of difficult to predict games. It's kind of difficult to predict performances. It's kind of difficult just to predict how anything will turn out. I was looking at a table today on The Athletic, and it basically said that Eric Ten Hag has the most number of wins against Klopp. Can you believe that? He's got 2 wins, a draw, and a loss. The worst record. Which manager had the worst record? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He had 3 wins. He had 3 losses and 3 draws, 1 win. Jose Mourinho had 1 loss, 3 draws, 1 win. Van Gaal had 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw. So it was more kind of balanced. But Eric Ten Hag has the most number of wins out of any manager post Sir Alex Ferguson. And I don't know if that's because I wouldn't say he's figured out how to bypass Klopp's tactics, but I think it's because of the unpredictability of how United will play that kind of startles. I don't want to say startles Klopp, but it kind of I feel like it makes it difficult for opponents to plan against the Ten Hag Man United, because you go into a game thinking, I don't know how they're going to set up. I don't know if it's going to be, a back four that's playing quite deep. I don't know if it's going to be a back four that's playing high. I don't know if it's going to be, a low block of entire, 10 players. I don't know if it's going to be counter-attacking. I don't know. I can't even say it's going to be possession dominant, because United haven't really been possession dominant this season in games. And if they have, it's not really been, convincing in possession, because you can have you can always have possession, but for me it's like a matter of what you do with it. If we concede a cutback goal, I'm going to Nuruddin lose it. Honestly, I saw a stat that said United have conceded 16 cutbacks, 16 cutback goals this season, and I think I might even be understating that, because we it's guaranteed that we conceded a cutback against Chelsea as well midweek, and I think that's what triggered me to go and check what the number of stats were for cutback goals for Manchester United. And the reason why I can see Liverpool even scoring cutback goals is because that's how, when they get forward, whether it's Salah on the right hand side or it's Conor Bradley, etc., they will have Darwin Núñez in the box. They will have Luis Diaz making a late run, towards the back post. They will have midfielders, making them late runs into the box. And as a result, those cutbacks, cash money. Those cutbacks will be cash money for Liverpool. And United can't defend against that. Why? Because it seems like players have some problem tracking runners. It seems that is the biggest mystery of this season. Players cannot track runners, and we've seen it time and time again this season. I don't even need to bring up examples of goals, because you lot know the kind of, the number of cutbacks that United have conceded. If we do concede a goal against Liverpool tomorrow, it will be that. And obviously because Mohamed Salah likes a goal against Man United. So I do feel like they will score. It's just a matter of, I don't know how many they will score. I'm not too sure. I can't really predict a result. I can't predict what the scoreline will be. Excuse me. So I'm not going to do any of that. But I think, is Ahmad available? Ahmad is available. He's been available. How can you go from scoring the FA Cup winner to then not sniffing a chance against Chelsea? I don't know. With Amad Diallo, I just cannot understand, guys. I cannot understand why Eric Ten Hag doesn't appeal to Eric Ten Hag. I don't get it. Let me know what you lot think. But be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe. You can join the membership club. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content as well. And of course, as a full-time content creator, you get to support the growth of the channel and the growth of the content that I bring you lot, because I'll be traveling around the UK, going to games and all of that kind of stuff. So you get to support all of that. So be sure to check out the membership. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want to send in super chats with your comments, with your thoughts, you can do that too, and that too supports the channel as well. But I'd start Ahmad all day, long is there much better than him. The reason why I think Ahmad doesn't play, and this is the theory that I have, I'm not saying I agree with it, but the reason why I think he doesn't play is because I feel like he's the kind of player that, you know, excels in a possession dominant team. Now, I'm not saying he can't excel outside of that, but I'm saying that his strengths are in possession. But when he was at Sunderland, a big part of his play that he worked on was his off the ball work, whether it was defensive, whether it was positioning, whether it was making runs, getting into little pockets of space. He definitely worked on all of that. And as a result, I feel like Manchester United this season haven't really been in a position to play him where, you know, he can most flourish or make a difference. So when he has played, or if he has made an appearance, even if it's like a 5-minute appearance, it's not really leaving an impression on anyone, because it's 5 minutes. You can't really do much in 5 minutes. Whereas in the Liverpool game, I think the best thing that happened in the FA Cup game, guys, is that it went to extra time, because it allowed players to really push. It really allowed players to push. It allowed 30 more minutes of people like Amad Diallo to really impress and, you know, show what they're capable of doing. Same as like Anthony as well, player that's been criticised for so long and then got a start against Chelsea. So for me, Amad Diallo should play. He can play. It's very evident. But, you know, when you have the likes of Rashford on one side, Garnacho on the other, personally, guys, I'll be real. I like Garnacho on the right-hand side. I really like Garnacho on the right-hand side. And I think he's been most impressionable. I don't want to say impressionable. Maybe he's been at his best in terms of creating and goal scoring when he's playing on the right. That's honestly what I think. And, you know, Marcus Rashford, even though I've just said that he should play tomorrow because of, you know, his experience and his record against, you know, the top six, you know, when the manager does bench Rashford, he's not bringing in Amad Diallo, because even when he pushes Garnacho to the left-hand side, he's bringing on Anthony, and Anthony's going to play on the right-hand side. So it's a given. It's always a given, and I feel bad for Ahmad. I really think he deserves to play. I think he deserves, especially an opportunity after that FA Cup game. Is it going to be tomorrow? I don't know. I really don't know. Man United managers have been sacked after losing to teams like Liverpool and Man City in recent years. The thing is like, guys, Erik ten Hag is not going to get sacked before the end of the season. If Erik ten Hag leaves, it will be once the season has concluded. Ineos will not sack a manager in April when the season ends in May. They will not do that. It's not going to happen. And it's just logical. And I know a lot of people might not like that. I have said it before. I think, you know, I'm not convinced on Erik ten Hag this season. I've already said that before. But I'm not going to sit here saying he needs to be sacked, because it just makes no sense to sack him right now when the season is pretty much nearly over, when the season is pretty much not really much to fight for. There's not really, like, realistically, let me look at the table, because I saw Villa drew today. United are on 48 points, yeah, in 6th. We are 9 points off of Spurs and 12 points off of Villa. There's about 7, after tomorrow's game, there's 7 games left in the league. So as of right now, United have 8 games left. United have to win 8 games out of 8 to even get anywhere near top 4, and hope Villa lose 3, and hope, you know, Spurs lose a few games. That's what has to happen. That's what has to happen. Realistically, I don't see that happening. So as a result, I don't see them sacking the manager until the season has concluded, because if you read the recent piece on The Athletic as well, they did also say, I think it was Laurie Whitwell's piece, suggested that Ineos are not really looking at, it's not fully based on results. It's not fully based on the results this season or over the last couple months that's going to lead to the manager staying in his job, or not. It's not going to be that. It's going to be a magnitude of contributions. It's going to be last season. It's going to be his coaching style. It's going to be his philosophy. It's going to be his man management. It's going to be, you know, his character and his personality. It's going to be a bunch of different contributing factors that is going to be behind the decision as to whether the manager leaves or not. And that is just logical. That is completely logical. Now, I think Ineos won. And I'm not going to say a yes man, but I think they want, I've said this, I think they want a coach. That's what they're leaning towards. They don't want someone like Ten Hag has been this season or the last 2 seasons, where he's got his fingers in all the pies. He's got a hand in the recruitment. He's got a hand in the youth management. He's got a hand in the first team. He's got a hand in the disciplinaries. He's got a hand in all of that. They don't want that. That is what you call, I think, a manager, quotation marks, because they are literally managing all aspects of the club. They want a coach. They want someone to come in and deal with the first team directly and coach them. And that's it. That's all. That's what I think they're looking for. And if Eric Ten Hag can, and I think Eric Ten Hag can do that. I definitely think he can do that. And I think the only reason why he had this opportunity to be involved in everything in terms of the operations of the club is because United did not have that structure in place for the manager. They didn't have a good recruitment or something reassuring enough to the manager where he felt like he didn't have to be involved in kind of all aspects. So that is what he leaned towards, being involved with everything. And I think it was actually to his downfall. Like, I think he would have actually been better off not doing that. But come on, you've seen in the past, the last time a United manager left the Manchester United management to deal with recruitment and that, Mourinho finished second and flipping got Van der Beek in a transfer window, and Lee Grant, and who else was it? It was 3 players we got in that window. That's who we got, and I think it was Fred was the other guy. I think Fred was the other guy. Yeah. So I don't see, like, it's not realistic. The last time a manager did that, he literally he got failed big time. He got failed big time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, similar as well. Came with XYZ suggestions in terms of transfers and was snubbed. So I kind of understand why Eric Ten Hag wanted to be involved with everything, but I do think that has now led to his own downfall, because he's now at the forefront of criticism when it comes to players that he signed not working out. People like Anthony, players that he's vouched for, etc. Who will be at centre back? Got injured and subbed and got injured other day. Centre back will be, I think the centre back pairing will probably be Cambuala and Maguire, which does not instill any sort of confidence in me. Does it instill confidence in you guys going into a fixture against Liverpool where you have Harry Maguire and Cambuala as your centre back pairing? Big up to Marco, says Liverpool fan here, but if United at the end of the season don't go for Nagelsmann or Flick, deserve the relegation. I don't see Hansi Flick being a part of, what United are looking at. Who would you put on Salah and Diaz between Wan-Bissaka and Diallo? I feel like Diallo is just is uneased at the idea of playing at left back. I don't know what it is. His performance against Chelsea was so unconvincing. So for that reason, I'll say keep Diallo on the right and put Wan-Bissaka on the left, and just frustrate Salah. Just frustrate him. Just frustrate him. Because Wan-Bissaka is a good 1v1 defender. Wan-Bissaka is a good 1v1 defender. I can criticize Wan-Bissaka for a lot of stuff, but I can give him credit for that. And so I would feel more at ease with Diallo on Diaz and Wan-Bissaka on Salah. Anyone mentioned the fact that Eric Ten Hag rushed Martinez back, got injured, and then he rushed back Evans the next week, got injured? I think it's desperation. You know that. I think Eric Ten Hag is desperate just to have players readily available. And again, bro is shooting himself in the foot every single time. I said this months ago. I said United didn't have anything to play for the rest of the season. I think I said this back in February when Martinez first got injured. I said that Martinez should just sit the entire season out. He should sit the entire, because it was suggested that he'd come back end of April, came back at beginning of April, got injured again. I said he should have just stayed out the entire season and just come back pre-season. Come back pre-season fit, ready to go. You can take part in training sessions, but in terms of match days, I don't want him involved in that, because I am very now concerned about his ability to stay fit. And this is how it starts. Excuse me, guys. This is how it starts in terms of becoming injury prone. Is you get a big injury, you come rushing back, you aggravate it again, you come rushing. Like, I feel like this season he's had how many injuries now? He's had how many injuries has Lisandro Martinez had? He had the injury in preseason where he came back months later. He played a couple games, got injured again, came back months later. Played a couple games, got injured again. Played 1 or 2 games, got injured again. Excuse me. I till today do not understand why Lisandro Martinez played against Brentford. If anybody can explain to me in the chat why Lisandro Martinez played against Brentford last week Saturday, I can't understand, because there is no such thing. There is no level of desperation, I think, to bring him back for that game. There is none. And for all the talk about Lisandro Martinez's height kind of stopping him from being able to play in the Premier League, I think it's going to be the injuries. And this is a guy that barely was injured at Ajax, came here now, picked up a big injury last season, and then has kept aggravating different parts of that injury since. There is a mismanagement going on, not just Lisandro Martinez, can I say. There is a mismanagement going on at the club, where Erik ten Hag was even asked about Man United not having a fitness coach. Man United do not have a fitness coach. They don't have a fitness coach. Yeah, the doctors, the medical team are failing the manager. Now, I can't think the management and coaching staff would be ignorant enough to ignore medical advice. However, one thing that kind of thinks to me that it's the medical staff is that Casemiro had an injury. I don't know if you remember a couple of weeks ago, Casemiro had an injury before the international break. And then he was called up. He was told that his Man United medical staff said that he was fine to play. And he went and got an opinion from a second doctor in Spain, apparently. And they said, yeah, no, you shouldn't play for a couple of weeks. And so he pulled out of international duty. That is, for me, that just summarizes Manchester United's medical team. That just summarizes it, is that they give one opinion that is clearly not, I don't want to say it's factual, but there's not some truth to it. And, you know, they also did fail Erik ten Hag, because they told him that Malacia and Luke Shaw would be available. Malacia, I actually feel sorry for Malacia, because, you know, the fact that he hasn't been seen at all kind of says to me that this problem that he's having is probably mentally a lot bigger than what we think it is. I think the injury what we've been told about Malacia is that he had an injury last year. He had surgery. The surgery didn't go how it should have went. I think the surgery team did something wrong. Then he had to get a second surgery. I can't imagine mentally the impact this is having on him, and I feel bad. I feel bad for him, because to be in hiding completely. Like, United had a team meal a couple of weeks ago, and I saw the videos, I saw the pictures of everyone going into the restaurant, security, everything with them. Malacia wasn't there. Even though he's injured, even though he's out injured, he's not even there. He's not even attending games. Lisandro Martinez was injured against Liverpool in the FA Cup quarterfinal, but he was at Old Trafford watching the game. But Tyrell Malacia has not attended any games this season. I've seen him once in a clip on Manchester United's YouTube channel. This is like in October or November, and we haven't seen him since. So I really hope he's okay, and I really want to see him back playing again. So I hope he's okay. But the medical staff have some fault to play in this, 100%. When it comes to the mismanagement of injuries at Man United, especially this season, you know, you don't. Can I just say, I don't buy it from the manager that people just get injured, or it's just because of, like, it just happens. It doesn't just happen. There is scientific explanations, unless it's like because I see it in women's football, for example, where players can get an ACL injury with bare minimum contact. So I know that kind of stuff happened. There are situations where those kind of injuries can happen, but it's not a coincidence that out of all of your team, only 3 players have not missed a game because of injury. That is not a coincidence. There is something fundamentally wrong, whether it's in the coaching style, i.e. what's happening in the training ground, whether it's the recovery process after a game or something. There is something going on that is contributing to the level of injuries that Manchester United are having this season. There has to be. And of course, the number of games that teams are playing or players are playing. You know, they're playing club football, international football, you know, especially Euros this year, Copa America this year. There's a lot of football being played in the over the last couple of years. So the welfare of teams or of players is, people don't care about it. The Premier League, the FA, UEFA, all of them guys, they don't care about it. They just changed the entire structure of the Champions League so that there's more teams in it and people are going to be playing more games. They don't care. Varane made a statement about this. When was it? Last year, when he retired from international football at the age of 29, because of, he said, how demanding football is right now and the number of games that people are playing. If you are competing, can I just say, if you are competing for a treble, you are playing near enough 70 games in the season. You are playing near enough to 70 games. But in terms of like the medical situation at United and just, you know, the injuries, I mean, Varane was holding his hip for like 20 minutes against Chelsea before he actually ended up coming off. When Johnny Evans came on, I didn't know. When I saw Cambuala warming up, I thought one of the fullbacks were coming off. I didn't even think it was Johnny Evans coming off. So clearly there's something fundamentally wrong at Manchester United from a medical perspective, as well as, you know, all the coaching aspects and all of that kind of stuff. You know, the coaching, all of that stuff. But hopefully there will be some change, because this is what fans have been sold by Ineos, that there will be change coming. The changes already are happening. You know, they're bringing in a head of recruitment. You know, they've brought in a CEO. They're trying to bring in the sporting director. There will be change. That's what Ineos are telling us. That's what Ineos are saying. They're saying, be patient. Rome weren't built in a day, but you will slowly see changes across the team. Of course, all we got to do is be patient, guys. All we got to do is be patient. So much wrong at the club, and we were told by Rangnick 2 years ago, problems much deeper than just the manager, no structure, no plan, no vision. The Glazers ran us badly. You know what's funny? Yeah? The Rangnick signing just never made sense to me. Ralph Rangnick never made sense to me, because how do you sign an interim manager with the idea confirmed that he's going to become a consultant, and then you never give him a chance as a consultant? That's how rotten the club was, that he didn't even want to stay on past his interim period. Whether it's true him and Ten Hag, or whether he didn't agree with, you know, appointing Ten Hag, etc. To me, that just doesn't make sense. Is why would you appoint him as an interim when you have no intention to keep him on long term, despite the fact that the idea was that you were going to keep him on as a consultant long term? And that's why I think he went all guns blazing and aired out the club's entire dirty laundry. But, you know, everything he said was factual, and it's not changed. It's not changed. Jose Mourinho said it how many years ago, guys? Some of the players, when Jose Mourinho spoke about, what did Jose Mourinho say? He said, it's one of my favorite press conferences, guys, that make me laugh all the time. When he said, look at if they play, how they play, where they play. He said it about the managers, about the players themselves. People always used to criticize. I remember fans used to criticize all the time people like Fellaini, Herrera, Fred, etc. But these were players that managers wanted to play with, yeah? And you see the way that Jose Mourinho spoke about people like Fellaini, or the way that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer spoke about people like Fred, yeah? These are players that were not fan favorites. They were not fan favorites. They were probably some of the players I would say that were scapegoated a lot. They were used a lot, especially when we were, you know, not performing well. But they were the players that the managers relied on, despite the fact they weren't the best players in the team, because the best players in the team were the problem. They were the problem. They were the issues with the manager. And, you know, Ollie didn't really touch on it in his recent interview that he did on the overlap, but Jose has said it time and time again. What Jose has said in the past, you know, similar to what Ralph Rangnick has said. I think Ralph Rangnick just said it in a lot more detail and a lot more depth, because it was what people have been knowing for a long time. It's what people have been knowing for a long time. It's not a secret. It's just that it's being aired out in, you know, in the public eye, and people are really getting to hear directly from a source of someone that's directly involved. Back to the Liverpool game. Sorry, we just went on a whole rant. about the club and the structure and injuries, but it is unfortunate. I think injuries is part of it because it is kind of unfortunate what Erik ten Hag is dealing with this season. But a part of me feels bad, but a part of me is a bit questioning what is happening for players to just be falling like flies, especially ones that are being I think rushed back. Luke Shaw came back from an injury and played 90 minutes in a row. 90 minutes in a row and then got injured again. We can say he's injury prone, but don't you think that is mismanagement don't you think that is mismanagement of player welfare, basically? Bringing players back from injury and making them play consecutive number of games. Is it WrestleMania in a few hours? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Is it WrestleMania? I don't watch wrestling, man, so I wouldn't know. Let me check Owen's channel. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see if it's Owen's channel. Yeah, it is. It's WrestleMania at Owen's. Oh, it's WrestleMania today and tomorrow. Roman Reigns versus The Rock versus Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. The only person I know from this is The Rock. I don't know anybody else. And then Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. What? How they wrestling 2 nights in a row? That's so long. What the hell? Damn, this is... Guys, sorry. Oh my god, the Bloodline are fighting. I know about that from my short spell of playing WWE. I know a bit about that. I don't watch wrestling, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really watch wrestling. It's difficult to catch up, keep up with football, basketball, and then another sport on top of that. That's why I only watch the NFL sometimes. It's difficult keeping up with like 3 sports. Football and basketball is what I keep up with the most. Big up to Ed says De Zerbi lost key players to sales and injuries, yet Brighton still play with a clear style. But this is interesting. This is interesting because I see this discourse a lot about, oh, you know, these managers deal with this and these. Brighton got whooped 3-0 today, despite the fact that I don't think it was a bad performance from them. So let me just say that. But Brighton have lost, and when they lose quite miserably. The only thing is United lose in poor fashion sometimes. But when Brighton lose under De Zerbi, they lose quite miserably. And De Zerbi actually touched on it today, saying that he's missing players and it's difficult for him to just keep missing players and then they come back and then you miss more players, etc. So it's kind of like it's a consistent cycle. It's a consistent cycle that a lot of teams are going through right now in the Premier League. Because can I just say, this injury issue is not just United. This injury problem is not just at United. Newcastle are having this issue. You know, Liverpool recently having this issue. City, not so much. They're missing Kyle Walker and John Stones, but, you know, they've got heaps of players. But in terms of, you know, I think Man United probably have the most number of injuries this season. I might be wrong, but I think they've got the most number of injuries this season. And I would just say that, you know, as a football manager, I think you have to plan for injuries. You have to plan for the possible, especially when you have players coming back from injuries, such as last season, Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw, etc. These are players coming back from injuries, unfortunately. So you have to prepare for that. Erik ten Hag was failed when he wanted to sign a centre-back. Remember that, guys. The club failed him in the summer. He wanted Kim Min-jae. Then he wanted Todibo. At one point, United were even linked to De Ligt. And they ended up with Johnny Evans. Like I said, no disrespect to Johnny Evans. None whatsoever. But Erik ten Hag wanted these players or wanted these positions with depth. He was failed. So I kind of sympathize with him on that aspect. I kind of sympathize with him on that. Big up to Keegan, been a member for 4 months, says, let's not go there, Mina. Erik ten Hag makes decisions based on the medical staff's input. Let's not forget that Big Cass had to get his own doctors. Exactly, I touched on that. I touched on that. I said that, you know, the medical staff for me is very questionable, because from time players are going to second doctors as for second opinions, that means they don't trust the advice that they're getting from the medical staff. So I kind of sympathize with Ten Hag in a lot of ways. I do sympathize with him in a lot of ways. And you know, this back line in particular tomorrow, I don't feel confident, guys. I do not feel. I have a picture in my head, guys, right now of Luis Diaz cutting in on his right foot and taking a shot. And Onana does that thing where he dives too early and, you know, it goes under his arm. I have a picture of that happening. I have that. It's literally, that picture is going on and on and on in my head. And if that happens, I'll just come back tomorrow and just laugh. I'll just laugh. If United do concede, it will be in a way that is laughable. Whether it's a defensive error from the back line, whether it's a goalkeeping error, it's going to happen. It's inevitably it's going to happen in one or two ways. I am just worried about that backline. I'm worried about that backline. The midfield will be interesting. I think it will be a Kobe Casemiro midfield with Bruno, and I think McTominay will come on at some point. It's safe to say Soufiane Amrabat's time at Manchester United has come to an end, I think, because, you know, Chelsea, you're up 3-2 against Chelsea, and the manager chooses to bring on McTominay over Amrabat. I think it's safe to say that his time is done. And I feel bad because I just feel like it's just the loan spell has not gone how I think a lot of fans hoped it would. I don't know if that's more to the fact that, you know, it's been a shit show of a season for United. Predictions. Let's get predictions in, guys. Drop your predictions in the chat. I'm gonna go 1-1. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 1-1. It's gonna be, yeah, I'm gonna say 1-1. I don't know why, because I've been so off with my predictions lately. My predictions have been so bad. So bad that I shouldn't even be sitting here predicting it. Damn. 8-1. Z says 3-2 United. Imran says 6-0 Liverpool. What? I don't think I can handle a walloping tomorrow, guys. I don't think I can handle a whooping. Like, my ego can't handle it. Like, it would just be. Do you not remember when United lost 7-0? I couldn't escape it for so long. It was everywhere. Online, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Anywhere I went, it was talking about it. It was still talking about it. So I cannot handle that. So Imran, I hope you're wrong. Dana says 3-2 United. Damn, Metro says could easily be 3-1 Liverpool, unfortunately. You lot are coming with some mad scorelines, man. You lot are coming with you lot are coming with some crazy predictions. 3-1 Liverpool, sadly, says Owen. Joshua says 3-1 Liverpool. Pezzo says 5-1 Liverpool. 7-0. Thank you. Koala says 2-1. Thank you very much. Come on. 3-1 Liverpool due to mentally frail Man United players. It's at Old Trafford. Exactly. It's at Old Trafford as well, and we are predicting for us to lose. We beat them last year at Old Trafford. We beat them this year in the FA Cup at Old Trafford. So just keep that in mind. So let's just keep that in mind. But I'll be back tomorrow, guys. We'll be back after the game. The game is at what? 3:30? So I'll be live at like 6 p.m. tomorrow, I think. Yeah. What time do we break our fast tomorrow? We break our fast at about 7:50. Yeah, so I'll be live tomorrow about 6-ish p.m. UK time. So be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Listen, let's just guys, everyone get your hands together and let's just pray. Let's just pray for the result game tomorrow. Let's just pray. And we just pray that United have a dignified performance. And we just pray that United come out and compete for 90 minutes. And we just pray that United play with their hearts on their sleeves. And we just pray that Erik ten Hag puts out the strongest team that he possibly can. And we just pray that Marcus Rashford doesn't leave his 2 brain cells at home. And we just pray that Aaron Wan-Bissaka does not get confused positionally. And we just pray We just pray, that Harry Maguire uses his head for the benefit of Manchester United. And we just pray that Andre Onana doesn't dive too early when he's making saves and his Weetabix hands make saves. We just pray that Rasmus Højlund doesn't try and do WrestleMania with Van Dijk and he turns up to play football and not wrestling. And we just pray that Bruno Fernandes doesn't just have something explode in his head where he boots the ball into the crowd. Let us just pray, guys, because that is all we can do at this point. That is all we can do at this point. And we just pray that Erik ten Hag puts extra oil on his shiny head tomorrow. That's all we can do, guys. That's all we can do. Pray. That is simple as that. Oh, I'm sorry, and I forgot. And I hope Mohamed Salah forgets how to score. And I hope that he's so hungry while he's fasting that he can't concentrate because he's so hungry, so he forgets how to score. That is the final prayer. That's the final prayer. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Like I said, guys, if you want to join the members club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges. You get your emojis, custom member content. You get to support the channel. I will be back tomorrow after the Liverpool game at 6 p.m. UK time. Hopefully, it'll be off the back of a good game. I hope you all enjoy your night, Saturday night, man. You guys know what it is. I might be live on Twitch. Let me put my Twitch link in the chat right now. Come over to Twitch, guys, and you can follow me on Twitch. I stream Call of Duty there and EAFC Ultimate Team in particular. I'll probably stream some Call of Duty there in the next probably 10 or 15 minutes. So come over there, just follow me. If you want to subscribe there as well, you can join the subscription gang. But like I said, I'll be back tomorrow after the Liverpool game. Hopefully it'll be some positives. You guys know what it is. I'm out. Hit the like button. Peace.